Hi, and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up the GNS 430 on the Beechcraft Starship by Square. So what we're going to do is use the GNS 430 to fly an RNAV approach and use full vertical guidance in Flight Simulator 2020. The reason I'm using 2020 here is because this has some issues currently in 2024 Sim Update 3, but if you're watching this in the future where all the bugs are fixed, this should work the same way in 2024. So we're flying from CYSH to CYGK, and I've preloaded the RNAV 19 approach here. I just wanted to point that out because this causes a little bit of an issue in the flight planning in the FMS, and I wanted to show you how to get around that. So by preloading this flight plan on the world map, you can get the built-in ATC if you choose to use it. I'm not going to use it during this flight, and I'm also going to skip a lot of checklist items and just do a very quick startup and setup and try to keep this video as short as possible. So we start in the cockpit here. Let's turn on the battery, standby instruments, the ICAS, turn on our strobe light and nav light. Have a quick look at our plane. Everything is, all the covers are off, doors are closed. So let's turn on our oxygen, anti-skid, and let's start the right engine. So at 12%, we can switch it to start. Once it goes green, we can change it to run. Let's turn off our starter. Okay, so right engine run, turn on the right generator. And let's start the left engine. I'll turn on the pilot and co-pilot instruments to give them more time to boot up, so we save a little bit of time. So left engine, start. While I'm looking down here, I can set the trim for takeoff. Turn off the starter. Left engine run. Put our flaps down. Get ready for takeoff. Okay, so let's initialize the system, and we have a flight plan here loaded. Let's take a look at it on the display. So although we have the RNAV approach in here apparently, if I cycle through the waypoints, it actually skips over all the waypoints for the approach. So if I wish to use that RNAV functionality here, where I want to estimate the vertical speed I need to reach my initial fix, I can't do it right now because I don't have these points available. So what I'm going to do here is, in the flight plan, I'm going to reload this approach using the actual Starship FMS, RNAV 19 through Obram. And now the waypoints are populated. If I go to the flight plan again, I can actually cycle through these waypoints. And what I'd like to do is set the VNAV advisory for MAVOC to something like 2100 is the altitude I'd like to reach it at. So I'm going to have this here. Let me turn the volume down while we're here. Turn our noise cancelling on. So let's get going. We will set up the autopilot shortly. Turn our engine bleed on. Oops. Temperature, cabin blower, turn it up. Cabin temperature, turn it down. I'm gonna release the brakes and reach our runway. Forgot to turn the left generator on. And then one last thing, the feather, auto feather on. So now I can clear my warning lights. Very squeaky aircraft. Alright, landing lights on. Wing lights. So, my cruise altitude is 6,000 feet. I will use IAS profile for that. I'm going to set it to 140 knots, which I think is my VY if I'm not mistaken. And then I need to set my nav source to FMS. And I would like to start off with heading mode in the direction of my runway, so 240. And let's change this to arc here. Let's take a look at have a look at the FMS and look at the progress page. Okay, so let's have another quick check before takeoff. Let's put our seatbelt sign on. Alright, this is looking good. Alright, no indicators. Let's take off. Set our power to full. Hold brakes. And let go. Find that you have to reduce the power a little bit as you're starting to roll. And we're gonna pull up at about 100 knots just for a short takeoff. All right. Positive rate. Gear up. I'm gonna turn on the autopilot, so I'm in heading mode now. Let's raise the flaps. And I will switch to, oops, navigation source here. So switch to nav mode and it's going to follow the flight plan. So let's climb as fast as we can to our cruising altitude so that we can start playing with the navigation and set up that approach for the RNAV approach so that we have it ready when we get to Obram, let's say Obram. So through this climb, I'm just gonna monitor and check instruments to make sure I don't miss anything, and then we'll play with the GNS 430 when we reach the cruising altitude. All right, so propellers in sync. That's all I want for now. We can turn off our landing lights, turn on anti-collision light. about to reach our cruising altitude. I never set the barometer. It should have been set. It's good on our standby instruments as well. Now the airplane is going to reach pretty high speed. I'm just going to make sure we don't go over speed. Alright, so we're going along our built-in Starship Classic FMS here. Zoom in a little bit. I'll reduce power slightly so that we don't exceed speed. A safe airspeed, and here this way. We do want to get there fast. I want to try to make this short, but okay. So now let's have a look at that GNS 430. So let's bring our view down a bit. Okay, so if you're not used to using this unit, it's not the prettiest interface, but here's how you can preload the RNAV approach. So enter, and the fastest way to select that airport is just go direct to, click or use the keyboard, CYGK. All right, activate, enter. So we're going to CYGK. Now we're going to use select an approach. So procedure, use the big knob, or enter. Use the big knob to select RNAV 19. Select the vectors again with the big knob. Enter. Activate. Yes, we want to activate it now. Okay, now so let's see if we can get our map here. Can we display the map? Apparently it doesn't have a GPS position at this time. I've seen this issue before, but it should find its GPS position soon. There it is. Okay. So now let's zoom out. So according to this display, the approach is armed, and it just wants to go directly to the initial approach fix. But this is not the active nav source at this time. So right now, the Starship is following its own FMS. So if we go to nav source, it is FMS, and if we go to syscontrol, it's FMS, it's not GNS. So once we get to our initial approach fix, we're going to switch here to the GNS. And we're at 6,000 feet. I like to know when I should start my descent so that I have a nice smooth glide down to the initial approach fix. And so what I'm going to do is use that VNAV VNAV advisory feature to check when I should descend. So right now, if I wanted to start my descent to Mavog, I'd have to use about 430 feet per minute. I'm going to wait till this gets to about 700 and then start my descent. So I'll pre-select my altitude for Mavog. So I'd like to be at 2,100 feet, but I will not arm vertical speed just yet. So to speed up this video, let me do a bit of time acceleration. Hopefully this won't break anything. And maybe slow it down a bit through the turns. I find that if you use time acceleration at the wrong time, it can mess things up in the avionics, so it better fly straight when you're using it. Alright, Miglo, Let's make this turn through Omaba. Okay, so right now the advisory RNAV or VNAV is telling me that I may want to start my descent if I want that 700 something feet per minute descent speed. So here, why don't we dial it down? Do we have vertical speed selected? Not yet. Okay. So 750, about right here. So let's go with that. So the aircraft is descending. We might have to adjust our speed here to make sure we don't exceed the maximum allowed speed. And if we have another look at our GNS 430 right now, it's still ready. It still thinks we're doing the approach. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit here and speed up a little. Okay, slow it down through the turn. Watch our altitude. Now it says we need to descend a little faster. We'll see if this changes, if the calculations change once we reach the actual waypoint. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to let the GNS 430 take over. So what we do is go to Assist Control, set this to GNS. Now my autopilot disconnected, so I want to switch source to nav once again and turn on the autopilot. And now I see GNSL, so lateral GNS guidance. So we still have to take care of our VNAV manually here. I'm going to look at that RNAV or VNAV page, and I think there's duplicate MAVOG. Yeah, here. This is a bit confusing here. I think I've got a duplicate MAVOG waypoint after the after CYGK, but I want to keep descending to 2100 feet. Okay, managing our speed. So according to my charts, right about here, we should intercept the, we can intercept the glide path at about 2100 feet. So we'll just make sure we keep a steady altitude as we do this. Now I'm going to turn approach mode on, and this arms our white glide slope indicator, and here it shows the glide slope triangle that shows us where the intercept altitude is, and we should see this moving down. Let's make sure the we stop descending so that we do a nice intercept. yeah, we were still in pitch mode instead of holding the altitude. So vertical guidance is still your job until you hit that glide path. All right, so what's happening here? We still have glide slope armed. Let's turn on our landing lights. Turn prop sync off. Okay, for a real approach, you'd probably want to have the flaps on and the gear earlier, but I'm just doing this as fast as I can. Okay, and now we see GNSV here. So we have RNAV vertical guidance, and we are following this this glide slope here. So now we just let the airplane take us down. Change our heading to the current heading by right-clicking. Slowing down a little bit. I'm going to turn my flaps down. Let's have a look on the outside. Kind of breathing sound when you're looking at the Starship from the rear. Let me know if you know what that is. Okay, so gear down. Still using our VNAV, our vertical guidance, still on the glide slope. So I'm gonna try to do a bit of a short landing, take it at a slower speed. I like doing these short landings to practice landing at very small airports or places where you might not normally be able to go. Let's see, there's a lot of wind apparently. Overflying Collins Bay Marina here. Let's see how far down we can go on the glide path. Well, that was our stall warning, so we're at the limit. Okay. Okay, I'll turn off our autopilot. We don't need brakes at this point. Lots of space. Okay, idle. Taxi lights on, landing lights off. And I'm just going to end it here, keep it nice and short. I hope you found this useful, and see you in another video perhaps.